Good afternoon. I would like to call to order this public roundtable at the Committee on the Judiciary and Public Safety. It is 12:06 p.m. on Thursday, May 18th, 2023, and we are conducting the roundtable virtually and streaming on the DC Council website and YouTube at CM Brooke Pinto. I am Councilmember Brooke Pinto, representing Ward 2 and Chairwoman of the committee. The purpose of today's roundtable is to discuss two nominees to serve on the Homeland Security Commission. They are first PR25-139, the Homeland Security Commission Ramaya Campbell Confirmation Resolution of 2023, and second PR25-140, the Homeland Security Commission Wendy Villatoro Confirmation Resolution of 2023. The Homeland Security Commission, or HSC, was established by the Homeland Security Risk Reduction and Preparedness Amendment Act of 2006. The Commission's role is to provide recommendations for improvements in security and preparedness in the district. Specifically, the Commission gathers and evaluates information on the status of Homeland Security in the district, measuring progress and gaps in Homeland Security preparedness, recommending security improvement priorities in consultation with major public and private entities, and advising the district government on the Homeland Security program. The HSC works with the Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, otherwise known as HSEMA, and HSEMA provides staff to the Commission. By statute, the HSC is a 7-member body. Members are required to be individuals with expertise in security, transportation, communication, chemical safety, risk assessment, terrorism, or occupational safety and health. I will now briefly introduce the two nominees who will be testifying today. First, Ramaya Campbell is a Ward 6 resident who works as an intelligence analyst in the district. Ms. Campbell studies far-right disinformation, radicalization, and extremism. Much of her work involves identifying, researching, and authoring intelligence reports on disinformation campaigns and wider information operations related to right-wing extremism and electoral integrity for government and private sector clients. Ms. Campbell began her career in intelligence analysis with the Central Intelligence Agency. And second, Wendy Villatoro is a Ward 5 resident and a Homeland Security and International Security consultant and scholar. She is currently in a pre-doctoral program in cybersecurity at Marymount University in Arlington. Ms. Villatoro specializes in strategies for effective decision-making, goal achievement, risk management, emergency planning, and preparedness solutions. She has 15 years of analytical experience and over 10 years of program management experience. She has also been responsible for developing, evaluating, and implementing training and technical concepts, policies, and procedures for specialized logistics continuity of operations support to government entities. Ms. Villatoro currently serves on the Homeland Security Commission and is being renominated today. I'm looking forward to hearing from the nominees today about their visions for the Homeland Security Commission, how their professional experience will inform their participation, and for Ms. Villatoro, what she has accomplished in her time on the commission to date. We have no public witnesses today, so I will now call our two nominees, Ramaya Campbell and Wendy Villatoro. It is the tradition of this committee to swear in all government witnesses who appear before it, so we could do that together if you both wouldn't mind taking yourselves off mute and raising your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you are about to provide before the Council of the District of Columbia and this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I would now like to invite our nominees to make any opening statement you may have. We can start with Ms. Campbell.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council members of the committee. My name is Ramaya Campbell. I'm deeply honored to appear before the Committee on the Judiciary and Public Safety as you consider my nomination to the district's Homeland Security Commission. I thank Mayor Bowser for her nomination and faith in my candidacy, and I thank you for the opportunity to explain my desire and qualifications to serve the residents of the District of Columbia. I'm an intelligence analyst. I currently work at Blackbird AI, a narrative intelligence company using AI to detect disinformation and other forms of information disorder. As an analyst, I specialize in far-right violent extremism, propaganda and messaging, recruitment, radicalization, and tracking. I operate surveillance accounts and conduct research on online extremist communities daily. Several of the clubs, organizations, and militia groups I regularly monitor have active elements here in and around the district. Previously, I held a similar role at Recorded Future, a cybersecurity and geopolitical risk firm based in Sweden. Before that, I trained as an intelligence analyst, first as an intern and then as a graduate fellow at the Central Intelligence Agency, assigned to the Counterterrorism Mission Center. I've written extensively on the present dangers of domestic extremist groups, as well as the challenges disinformation poses to the survival of our great democratic ideals. I received a bachelor's degree from the University of Southern California in law, history, and culture, minoring in international relations. I received a master's degree in peace and conflict studies from the University of Otago, New Zealand, during which time I assisted the university and local government in responding to the Christchurch massacre. I'd like to speak briefly about that experience, as it remains both a searing memory and the most significant and motivating professional experience I've had to date. On March 15th, 2019, Brenton Tarrant committed heinous acts on 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, killing 51 and wounding 40 worshippers in the very place they should have felt most at peace. I was granted the opportunity to visit one of the mosques that was attacked, the Al Noor Mosque, where I met survivors, native-born Kiwis, immigrants, refugees, parents, children, who displayed a striking, tragic resilience to this tragedy, to this terrible attack. The viciousness of the attacks was an anomaly in New Zealand, and the perpetrators' hatred shocked the small island nation to its core. After bearing witness to this attack, I've learned that many of us in the US have been forced to accept the regular occurrence of these tragedies. And the unfortunate reality is that these sorts of hatred-based attacks could be inflicted upon people everywhere, even those living in the district. For this reason, among others, I sought appointment to the Homeland Security Commission. I want to be part of the effort to change this reality. In my review of previous Judiciary and Public Safety Committee reports, I have noted that there is an emphasis on the Homeland Security Commission's independence from HCMA and its responsibility to relay even those recommendations that are critical of current government practices. My professional experience has taught me that the best approach to Homeland Security is a whole of society approach. And so I would intend to reach beyond the boundaries of the district to cement our national Homeland Security efforts and prevent the reoccurrence of missteps that we have endured in the United States. For example, in the years since 9/11, prevailing political thought and subsequent policy have often resulted in prejudiced, militant approaches to Homeland Security, to biased, inequitable results. I believe strongly in this whole of society approach to Homeland Security, in which policy and law are built on the realities and needs of all citizens and residents, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, citizenship, ability, sexual expression, religion, or creed. A homeland that is secured for some, but not for others, is not secure at all. The Homeland Security Risk Reduction and Preparedness Amendment Act of 2006, the act that established a Homeland Security Commission, charges commissioners with gathering and evaluating information on the status of Homeland Security in the district, measuring progress and gaps in Homeland Security preparedness, and recommending security improvement priorities in consultation with major public and private entities. I eagerly look forward to joining the Commission to fulfill those important mandates and to assist the Commission in furthering this important work. A robust Homeland Security practice consists of a number of priorities, of which counter-extremism and physical security is but one. With my experience working with AI-powered risk assessment, I am also keenly interested in helping to examine any gaps the district may have in its ethical approaches to the relationship between Homeland Security and emerging technologies. Additionally, as a former humanitarian and emergency management capabilities associate for Team Rubicon, a veteran service organization, I believe I can also help advise HCMA and the district in its emergency preparedness posture, assisting in building resilience to natural disasters like flooding and responding to contentious but constitutional First Amendment events that make the District of Columbia a true heart of democracy. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today, and I welcome any questions you may have concerning my experience and candidacy, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you very much, Ms. Campbell. Next, we will turn to Wendy Villatoro for any opening statement that you may have.
Good morning. I want to apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather, so if at any point you can't hear me, just please let me know. Mayor Bowser, committee members, commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, I virtually stand before you deeply touched and inspired by your support. With boundless gratitude for the continued confidence placed in me by the committee and the mayor, and with an unswerving resolve to honor that trust, it is with great pleasure that I humbly accept this nomination for reappointment to the District of Columbia Homeland Security Commission. I am deeply honored to know that Mayor Bowser continues to deem me worthy of such an important responsibility. I wish to extend my deepest respect and appreciation to all of those involved for their strong and continued support. Thank you, Chairperson Pinto, for graciously preparing and guiding the hearing today. I greatly look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for the reappointment. I look forward to continuing to support you and work with you as you continue to wisely steer the district towards very successful years to come. I, like many people, am someone whose life was shaped by 9/11. As a carefree high schooler, I vividly remember not only watching the second plane hit the World Trade Center, but also almost simultaneously feeling extreme angst reading a text from my mother, who worked for the Department of the Army at the time, simply stating, "If something happened, I'm safe." Right after I read that text, my view of the world dimmed and the importance of my community was highlighted. The people whom I trusted for my security were not there to comfort and protect me, and I did not know what to do. In fact, this was my first time experiencing such uncertainty and emotion, and it occurred when I was in a building full of people that I didn't really know, yet we were all experiencing overwhelming feelings. In the days that followed 9/11, I, just as many other teenagers and young adults at the time, wanted to do something, anything to protect our homeland. Our sense of community drove us to not only want to do more than the everyday job, but also to participate in both the healing and protection of our community. For us, every day was September 12th. The years since 9/11 now make up over half of my life, and I've spent that time doing more than just the everyday job. It did not take me long to recognize that America needed a transformation of what has been our whole way of looking at the world since 9/11. I realized it was time our community rethought the status quo of our own government and society and moved past our post 9/11 mindset. My journey, both educationally and professionally, steered the course for me to remain focused on that and yet remain dedicated to flexibility and transitioning across industries, organizations, and disciplines, all with the goal of improving our homeland security capabilities. I knew I wanted to be part of our country's continuous effort to find a solution to deal with the threats that were brought to our shores. As a longtime distant resident, I am not only a committed public servant, but I am also committed to the betterment of my community. I have extensive experience leading complex program management efforts for large-scale system modernizations and balancing diverse public and private stakeholder needs. My passion for Homeland Security has kept me motivated to continue to seek out opportunities to serve Homeland Security, emergency management, and public health missions. My overarching business acumen afforded me the opportunity to focus primarily on organizational strategy, policy analysis, strategic program design, process improvement, program management, and strategic communication. This experience will give me the opportunity to be a part of a great community and allow me to prove my commitment to civic engagement. I believe that volunteering for this role has continued to be and will be an excellent opportunity to both give and gain my knowledge and expertise. Put simply, the DC boards and commissions are the most accessible political bodies in the district that have a tangible impact on day-to-day quality of life and safety for the denizens of our great city. Ultimately, I can see no better place for the opportunity to continue to collaborate with like-minded people to address solutions as a responsible citizen. I wholeheartedly believe that I continue to bring the right expertise, experience, skills, and education to be a good fit for the commission. I thrive on learning, exploring, and mastering new skills. I am excellent at bringing disparate ideas together in creative ways, making me an incredible innovator and problem solver. I have the ability to synthesize diverse skills to create breakthrough innovations and solve complex problems that will have a huge impact, draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems and synthesize ideas. I am capable of learning quickly, demonstrating adaptability and system thinking skills. Ultimately, working in different roles in various industries have given me the ability to start divergent processes and move towards a convergent process. I understand that I will be required to continue to participate in making recommendations for improvements in security and preparedness in the district to the mayor and District of Columbia Council. I am eager to continue to have a direct impact on the safety and security of not only the district residents, but also those who come to visit. And I am extremely excited about continuing to join my fellow members in serving the District of Columbia Homeland Security Commission. My vision for the commission remains the same: to have a provision of transparent and up-to-date information regarding the integrated risks of the district's Homeland Security program, making certain that the various parties that have stake in the Homeland Security of the district know the threats to our community, prepare and plan for emergencies, can operate effectively in an emergency, and can conduct recovery operations after disaster. The pace of change is greater today than ever before, requiring the evaluation of Homeland Security preparedness in the district by the commission to occur through a different lens. And specifically, that means as members of the District of Columbia Homeland Security Commission, we will continue to work to accomplish a few critical, important goals. First and foremost, we need to continue our work fulfilling our promises to gather and evaluate information on the status of Homeland Security in the district, measure progress and gaps in the district's Homeland Security preparedness, recommend security improvement priorities for the district in consultation with major public and private entities, and advise the district government on the Homeland Security program. Second, we need to reassess the structure of the commission to reevaluate how it can have the biggest impact while operating productively and practically. Third, we need to continue to partner with other agencies to achieve our common goals of the district's unique responsibility to maintain a Homeland Security and emergency management posture that is best in class. Finally, we will continue to work on increasing the timeliness and effectiveness of the commission's to be able to provide information, advice, and guidance to stakeholders in order to prompt action that will support appropriate approach to security and preparedness for the district. I am eager to extend my duties as a commissioner and work to improve the district's Homeland Security posture. During my appointment, I have continued to work with stakeholders alongside my fellow commissioners to make recommendations for improvements in security and preparedness in the district. We have moved away from reusing the same ideas and methods used in the past, enabling the commission to grow as a whole. The commissioners have collectively continued to advise stakeholders regarding the development and implementation of innovative strategies and related priorities to promote a unified coordination of Homeland Security activities across disciplines. We continue to identify gaps in the district's Homeland Security efforts and offer recommendations for how available resources can effectively support a whole community approach to enhancing capabilities. I still believe that what the Homeland Security Commission continues to bring, during my reappointment term will define the commission's ability for years to come. As a community, we must come together to strengthen and improve the district. I continue to pledge to you my full and dedicated efforts to making that so. I look forward to continuing to serve my fellow Washingtonians. Once again, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I welcome any questions you may have at this time.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Villatoro, and I'm so sorry to hear that you're not feeling 100%. I really appreciate you pushing through, and this won't be too long. So thank you. So I have a standard list of questions that I ask to every nominee. And so if we can just, many of them are yes or no. And so if we can, we'll just have Ms. Campbell answer first and then Ms. Villatoro, so we can just go through them once together if that works. So first, are you a resident of the District of Columbia? And if so, which ward do you reside?
Yes, Ward 6.
Yes, Ward 5.
Are you currently an officer or director of any corporation, partnership, or other organization in the District of Columbia, either for profit or nonprofit, which is doing business with the District of Columbia government?
No.
No.
Do you or does any member of your immediate family hold an ownership interest in any firm that is now doing or has ever done business with the District of Columbia government?
No.
No.
Are you currently a member of any board or commission connected with the district government?
No.
Yes.
If so, which ones?
I'm a Homeland Security Commissioner.
Thank you. And no other commissions?
No
correct?
other commissioners.
Thank you. Do you have any outstanding liability for taxes, fees, or other payments to the district, federal, or other state or local governments, either contested or uncontested?
Thankfully, no.
No.
Have you ever been investigated, disciplined, or cited for a breach of ethics or unprofessional conduct by or been the subject of a complaint to any court, administrative agency, professional association, disciplinary committee, or other professional group?
No.
No.
To your knowledge, have you ever been investigated, arrested, charged, or convicted, including pleas of guilty or nolo contendere by any federal, state, or other law enforcement authority for violation of any federal, state, county, or municipal law other than a minor traffic offense?
No.
No.
Have you or any business of which you are or were an officer, director, or owner ever been involved as a party of interest in any administrative agency proceeding or civil litigation?
No.
No.
And last, Homeland Security Commission members are required to have at a minimum a secret security clearance to participate in commission business. Do you have at a minimum a secret security clearance?
No. But I have previously held a top secret clearance and would be willing to go through the background process again.
No, I previously held a clearance and would be willing to go through the process again.
Thank you both. So Ms. Campbell, thank you so much again for your testimony. It was helpful to hear kind of about some of your context and experience. But can you talk a little bit about how your professional experience will inform your work on this commission and kind of what your primary focus will be, if confirmed?
My primary focus, and again, my understanding of the Homeland Security Commission is limited to the public information I have been able to find. But my primary focus professionally is issues of physical security, extremism, terrorism, and how that links to specifically in the district First Amendment events. So protests, gatherings, these things that are quite popular here in the district and make it a fantastic and dynamic place to live. I hope to contribute to the city's preparedness for any kind of contingency in that area. I also have experience in humanitarian aid and emergency services. And I hope to offer whatever experience that I can, whatever expertise that I can to things like natural disaster response, particularly flooding. I live close to the river in the Southwest, so that is always of interest to me as a resident. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, thank you. And can you speak a little bit more to your experience with emergency preparedness specifically?
Yes, I worked briefly for an organization called Team Rubicon. It's a veteran service organization, and it primarily responds to humanitarian disasters caused by humanitarian aid crises caused by natural disasters. So hurricane response, earthquake response, incident management is part of our training there. And so I've deployed multiple times to different areas around the United States that have been affected by these disasters and worked with communities to understand their needs and report back to the organization on how we can better serve them. And I hope to bring that experience to bear on the commission.
Great. Thanks so much. And I'm really interested about your work on extremism, which is especially relevant in today's current climate. Can you speak a little more about what you think some of the big issues are on the horizon in this area for our city to be aware of?
For our city, I'm always concerned primarily with physical security in light of January 6th. I know that has been a very common thing to be worried about. I do track several groups in the district, several different extremist groups. I track dozens of extremist groups, and I know several that are active in the district and have membership around the district. And so I'm always interested in how these groups intend to make themselves known, how disruptive they intend to be, what kind of counter protests, what a meeting between these groups and counter protesters can result in for the safety of the district. And so primarily I'm always concerned with physical security, but in the future, I'm very interested in the information environment when it comes to elections. And when any of these things are sort of tampered with anywhere in the country, we, as we know, often find people respond to them here in the district. So keeping an eye on how our information environment develops around the election, how disinformation affects people's understanding of our democratic processes is always relevant, especially to residents here in the district.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks very much. What type of role do you see for technology in causing future intelligence and security issues? Is there anything that we should be doing more of to leverage our technological advancements in this space?
Yeah, so for the security of the residents, for the security of the residents of the District of Columbia, I'm always interested in algorithmic justice. I'm interested in how the automated processes that we use, be that in policing or some of the Department of Homeland Security, the larger agencies that operate in the district, are using AI and algorithms to make decisions on behalf of district residents. I think there is a lack of transparency there and an opaqueness that we need to pay more attention to and make sure that people are treated correctly and that we examine the biases that may exist in those systems. Some of those systems include things that could be considered profiling, some of the like video monitoring systems that track for weapons or, track suspicious behavior as they are marketed. So that is something I think we should be concerned about. Sorry, could you repeat the second half of your question?
I think you're answering it. I was just seeing if there was any other ways that we should be using technology to target some of the extremism we're seeing as the commission kind of continues its work and advising us to do even more.
Right. I think it's a very fine line. I think some of the emerging technology coming out now grants us the ability to monitor communications in a way that we could not before, monitor them more effectively. That always comes up against questions of privacy and civil rights I study the far right, but this applies across the board. I think there are some critical missteps that we could make if we decide to use emerging tech like AI to more closely monitor different threat groups, but that could just as easily be used against non-threatening groups. So this is a legislative question that I am sure the council will have to debate, and I do not envy you that complicated process. But yes, I think that my personal view, having tracked these groups and knowing what they say and what they're up to and what they plan, is that we should be using emerging tech to get a better handle on their intentions, and we need to walk a very, very fine line when it comes to privacy, as of course these are U.S. citizens, and we must be constitutional in everything that we do.
Thanks so much. And then just lastly, what do you see as the biggest, most important function of the commission moving forward?
I think its independence is its most important function. Its ability to offer recommendations to HCMA, to report to the council and the mayor without without some of the strings that are attached to the dynamics of being inside of the Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency itself. I think the ability to offer independent review, independent recommendations, of course, informed by interactions with public and private entities, informed by the expertise that we can gain from the plethora of resources that we have here in the district, is very important. I think that its impartiality is meant to be its strongest function.
Great, thank you very much. Ms. Villatoro, and thank you so much for your service and past on this commission. Looking back on that service, what are some of the things that you enjoyed working on or that you're most proud of in your time on the commission?
What I would say that struck me as like the most engaging and the most thing to be proud of is our ability to work with stakeholders. We do not work in a silo whatsoever. And so the idea that we're able to reach out to a lot of different entities and stakeholders and engage them and work collaboratively to come up with solutions and to have ideas is probably the most exciting and invigorating aspect.
Great, okay, thank you. And how do you feel like your professional work has informed your work on the commission so far?
I would say it's twofold. So professionally, I've worked doing emergency management type of activities. I've developed COOPs. I am part of an organization that certifies emergency managers. So I know a lot of information that goes into what it takes to be an emergency manager and emergency management plans. I also work across disciplines and always have. So it allows me to be able to speak the language of a lot of different people and kind of bring that together to have one solid story. So the stakeholder engagement piece and the communication across sectors has really been advantageous to me in my role.
And then moving forward, what are some of the issues that you hope the commission stays focused on in the next several years?
So a lot of that is guided by the partners that we work with, right? So one thing about the commission is we're able to be forward thinking. So a lot of missions and roles and responsibilities require organizations to think about what is happening right now and what the most immediate threat is. And we have the ability to look out into the future. So what we tend to do is reach out to our partners and say, what are some things that are piquing your interest that you don't have the resources or the capabilities to work on and think about right now? And how can we help support you with that? So I would say it's really dependent on what's happening in the world and what the different industries and organizations are foreseeing that we might not have insight in because we don't work in that particular sector.
Gotcha. Okay. And as we think about the current function of the commission and some of what Ms. Campbell talked about with the importance of independence and the interrelatedness, stakeholders, as you're talking about, do you have any thoughts on how we can expand the impact and effectiveness of the commission?
I think that we are addressing one of those things now, having Ms. Campbell come on board. We have not been able to have quorum to make a lot of decisions that we needed. So not having the resources was a hindrance that I think that now we're able to resolve. I do think that what comes along with that is having the different expertise and the different mindsets and the people from the different sectors that kind of help bring that all together. So hopefully moving forward, we'll still be able to work collaboratively to be like the problem solvers that we are, or that we're trying to be.
Love it. Great. All right. Well, thank you both very much. That's all the questions that I have for you. I want to give you both the opportunity if there was something we didn't get a chance to talk about or any other points that you want to make, please feel free.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Are we allowed to ask you a question?
Generally, no. We don't take questions that way, but if you would like to talk further, we'd be happy to at another time.
No, okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you both very much for your service and congratulations on your nominations, and appreciate you being here today. And with that, the time is now 12:40 p.m. on May 18th. And there being no further business before the committee, we are adjourned. Thank you.